And welcome back to Stanny Boy Reviews. I'm your host, Stanley. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out my channel and to talk about your favorite horror films and mine. It's been a very busy couple of weeks for me. I just got back from a wedding in Lincoln City and watched my best friend since the 8th grade, Christine, get married. Congratulations, Christine and Alan Sheeler. And last week, I had the absolute pleasure to interview 90s heartthrob and former actor J. Trevor Edmond, who starred in a string of horror films such as Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings, Return of the Living Dead 3, and Lord of Illusions. And before that, I broke down a few movie trailers for forthcoming movies such as Halloween Ends and Orphan First Kill. And now we are going to be talking about A24's most recent release, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. But before I get into it, please take this time to subscribe and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So, I'm gonna have a seat, you have a seat, and go grab your flashlights, go grab your best friends, or in this case, your worst friends, and let's talk about Bodies, 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 baby! You know what does not get enough love? This picture right here. Oh God. So anyway, you guys, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I did not know very much about this movie going into it. And like I've said in the past, I just think that sometimes that's the best way to go into movies, especially with A24 films. What? On my most recent dig, I learned that Bodies, Bodies, Bodies was snatched up by hit or miss, but mostly hit A24 sometime in 2018 and was supposed to be rewritten and directed by Chloe Okunu, who directed and also wrote one of my favorite movies of this last year, Watcher. Shameless plug. You can watch my review by visiting this link right here. But those plans eventually fell through, and Helena Rain would eventually end up taking over as director. The script would be rewritten by Sarah Delap, all based off of a script written by Kristen Rupanian. A couple years would go by before Bodies, Bodies, Bodies would receive a main cast led by Amanda Stenberg from Hunger Games, and then Academy Award nominee Maria Bakalova, who was in the Borat sequel and received international fame because of that film, and in my opinion is hilarious. And also Kardashian tabloid fodder Pete Davidson, just to name a few. And production would eventually go underway in early 2021, with the film having its premiere at South by Southwest in early 2022, with a full release to follow on August 5th of this year. Up until then, I think I had probably seen maybe one real full trailer, but I was certain that this was going to be a whodunit type of horror film. I think I missed all the comedy elements in the trailer that I had seen prior to this. I think that I just thought it was going to be a drug-fueled horror film involving college-aged kids. Then I was led down the path to believing that it was going to be more of a horror comedy. I was slightly concerned, but who am I to judge? Because when a horror comedy is done right and there's that healthy balance, it's okay. I tend to stray away from horror comedy because I just don't really love them all that much. But when it's done right, they're fine. Anyway, let's just get into it. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is about a young, wealthy, recovering addict named Sophie, played by Amanda Stenberg, who was on her way to a hurricane party at a big mansion hosted by her best friend for life, Pete Davidson, named David, and she is with her girlfriend, B, played by Maria Bakalova. The party, like I said, is in this big mega mansion, and all of their friends are there. David has his girlfriend named Emma. There's also a girl named Jordan, who may or may not be an ex-flame of Sophie's. There is a girl there named Alice, and she has a much older boyfriend who she has only known for a brief amount of time named Greg. And we learn pretty early on that nobody has expected Sophie to arrive, let alone with her new girlfriend. And there's a lot of tension between the friends and Sophie, and we're not entirely sure why. So tensions are high, much like everybody else. Yes, there's a lot of that in this movie. But anyway, the hurricane that everybody is expecting eventually comes.
That all you got, mother?
And everybody decides to play a game called
Bodies, Bodies, Bodies,
which is like a twisted version of hide and seek. So they play, things get weird, it results in a dead body. They all end up turning on each other. More bodies end up piling up, and it leaves us as the audience wondering who the killer is and if anyone is going to make it out of this hurricane party alive. Wow, man, I must say, I really liked this movie. It takes a lot for me to get behind a horror comedy, and that's exactly what this was. And it was funny. It was more funny than it was scary. It was a solid mixture of the two. And it's usually the comedy of a movie like this that takes me out of it and makes me not like it or appreciate it. But the writing was so on point, and usually, I don't want to repeat myself, but the balance is so off in movies like this. So that says a lot, I guess. I think it was Joe Bob Briggs that said, in order for a horror comedy to work, the horror has to be 80% and the comedy has to be 20%. But in this case, that's not right. The comedy was more, and it worked more in its favor. The movie is also pure commentary on where we're at with the younger generation, with the Gen Z crowd and social media, like TikTok. And I found myself snickering a lot and just shaking my head and like kind of just muttering to myself at a lot of the dialogue because it's so true to life. I might be 30 some odd years old, but I work with a lot of younger people and I see a lot of this behavior often. I see how the TikTok generation operates on a daily basis. This is where we are, and it's something to behold. So this movie really puts a pin in it with a razor sharp edge, and I loved the way it was executed. So bravo to the writers, and bravo to the directors, and bravo to the cast. And really, all the actors here made me love and hate them all equally, which I think was the point. And by the way, the girl who played Alice, Rachel Sennott, I'm probably pronouncing her last name wrong. Rachel, girl who played Alice, amazing.
How long have you known her?
I had so much fun watching everything unfold here. And I can honestly say that I didn't know what was going to happen. And the twist ending, yes, there is a twist ending, definitely threw me for a loop. I didn't expect it. And I was there for it. The music was also a big selling point. Disaster Piece did the music here. He also did the music for another favorite of mine, It Follows. I loved the experimental electronica mixed with Halloween vibes, mixed with the combination of the setting. We did not leave this big house. We were in this big mansion the entire time, and it provided a really unsettling claustrophobia type of feeling, and the music only helped amp that up. Like, it was good filmmaking. Makes me feel good. I thought my one complaint was probably going to be the runtime. If this movie went one more minute over, I think I would have been annoyed, because by the time it was over, I just wasn't sure what was left to do. But it ended at exactly the right time, and it ended fabulously. With that being said, on Stanny Stab-O-Meter, I'm gonna give this movie 5 stabs. It was smart, funny, it was dark, it was a great commentary on today's youth and where we're at. Things have definitely changed, and this is not what was up when I was 17, 18, 19 years old. Does that mean I need to jump on board? I don't know. I really loved this Clue Scream mashup. Go see it. That's all. I don't know. So what do you say, guys? Have you seen Bodies, Bodies, Bodies? Do you plan on watching Bodies, Bodies, Bodies? I vote yes. I think it's funny that I gave Watcher 5 stabs, and I think it would be interesting to see what it would have been like had this movie had the same writer and director as Watcher, because I think Watcher is a really good film. So if you haven't seen Watcher yet, go watch that movie too. Very different from this. Go watch that one too. Hey. And go watch my review. Anyway, you guys, leave me some comments. Let me know what you thought about this review. If you haven't watched my interview with J. Trevor Edmond, go watch that. If you haven't watched my interview with Denise Richards yet, go watch that too. Go watch all my reviews, you guys. They're all there. Go catch up on them. Let me know what you think of my channel. In the meantime, I'll be back next week. Take care for now. Oh, I got a new shirt.